everyone, and welcome to an all-new episode of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
How you doing today?
Um, well, it could be better.
It could be better. It's been an up and down week for the union, and we will discuss it on today's show, obviously. So coming up, we're gonna look over the CCL Leg 2 match versus Alianza,
Mm-hmm.
and then talk about last night's match, as I'm sure we have a lot to discuss about that.
Lots to discuss.
But before we get started, what are you wearing today?
I'm wearing one of my Sons of Ben shirts.
Oh yes,
Yes.
I got
One
you
I got
that.
for Christmas this
Yeah,
year.
got you that. And I am wearing our season ticket member shirt that we got this year. I actually like this. It's a little better quality than the shirt we got last
That's
year.
nice. I like it too. Yeah.
It is. But before we get started, make sure to follow us on Twitter at TOTWAG. That's the One Team We Agree On. And on Facebook and Instagram at the One Team We Agree On. That's all one word. So let's get into it. As I said earlier, this week was a while. We had two matches again, and we'll talk about Tuesday night match against Alianza. But first, let's talk about the weather.
It was cold.
Yeah. Riveting footage there.
Yes. Yeah. So every home game we've been to this season has been cold.
We've been talking about that. We bring all the cold weather with us.
It's been fairly mild this winter. And then, you look at the weather forecast for the week and it's like, 40s and 50s and fairly mild all week. And then game day is cold. Like really cold compared to everything else that keeps happening. Cold. I swear.
So, yeah, I mean, wind gusts are like 30, 40 miles an hour.
Tuesday was the coldest.
Yeah, this week. And so we bundled up. I think
we 5 layers on.
Yeah, I think we had like hoodies, jackets,
like two pairs of socks, 2 pairs of pants.
Yeah.
Like 5 layers on top, had gloves, yeah.
And scarf, it was still cold.
All the stuff.
We're still standing
still
there.
Cold. Like legit, I think like my knees have just been sore for like the last 2 weeks, just because I think like standing so much between the games, and also I teach all day, and coaching at swim meets, being on my feet. But I think standing in the cold, like I just like locked up or something. Just I don't know. I think that's I think that's
very well be.
Did a number on me. Yeah.
I know for me, I was sick 2 days afterwards.
Yeah, he was.
I got really sick. So either way, it was a little different. I mean, so for those of you who don't know, we got there, we went to the informal tailgate. Sons of Ben, usually on weeknights. During the season, they just have an informal tailgate for members only. Another reason why you should join the Sons of Ben.
Yeah, I had some beers. I mean, it was a Tuesday night, so and school night for me. I had work the next day, so I wasn't gonna like have a ton, but
it was nice. I mean, they had the beer truck open. I mean, there's no food, but they had some music.
Yeah, we just brought some Wawa, and
people bring food and just hanging out. We chatted with
a bunch of people.
We did. And then we with Billy, and then also Drew, and so we had a good time. And just one of the things I thought was when we got there was a lot of
Alianza
fans.
Yeah,
and I thought it was funny because like there's
a lot in the G lot.
Yeah, they were pulling up in like vans, all these people getting out. So they traveled well, and
they're walking through with like their merch and stuff.
Yeah, they were selling like El Salvador national team stuff and other merch for people, and everybody we like interacted kind of just like looked at were very nice, and it was kind of cool. They were like sitting there with like open grills, grilling, just tailgating. So they were having fun. And
I know a lot of them were coming from like New York and areas surrounding.
And we saw that one Tifa from LA. Yeah. So there was a group from LA. So I mean, it was cool to see they traveled very well.
And all things considered, they had a good crew show up. So good for them.
Good for them. And then when I think about our crowd, I thought, I mean, when we first got there, it was like Drew, Billy. There was like hardly
we were like the only ones in the river end when we got there.
And so we were standing there, the wind's whipping. And but by kickoff, it came
filled up pretty good.
I think everybody was kind of staying in their cars or whatever.
Right. Until people didn't come in early. Like people are either in their cars and coming in last minute, or they were hanging out in the concourse or in,
And the
this team
teams, so which
store.
we did. We went
I
in
mean,
there.
the teams between the team store and the bathrooms, like if you wanted warmth, those were the places to be.
Absolutely. So and we checked out the team store again. No
Mhm.
new merch, but we went back through. You're still eyeing that one shirt from last year that you're over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the
We're
Hispanic
wait.
Heritage one, I think it
You're
was.
waiting
Yeah.
for that one
I
to
like
drop.
that one.
I
Yeah,
do
just
too.
but it's like $55. I'm like, I'm not
I
paying that.
So yeah, I thought that we had a decent crowd once match kicked off.
Yeah, actually I was pleasantly surprised how many were there considering it was a Tuesday night and it was cold.
Yeah, that and also I mean again going back to Alianza fans, I mean they were chanting up in there like we were still setting up and they're already chanting. They have their banners going because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
We're
they
kind of
got.
like they're loud. We cannot let them be louder
Yeah,
than us.
and I'll be honest with
Yeah.
you, as the game started to go, we started to, and we'll get into it.
Hmm.
We really had a good back and forth with them,
We did.
and it was kind of fun. And so I thought, for during the match, I thought the river end, I thought we didn't that first they were kind of doing the same chants. I felt like we
Hmm.
were talking about the fact our whole little area we're like, okay, this is chant number 6.
I
All
guess
right,
we've used them all up.
yeah. Who was it? The guy right behind us, like, yeah, I think we used it all. We
Yeah.
gotta go back to chant number 1. But that was a whole other discussion earlier that week. But anyway,
Yeah.
what I did appreciate though was we really did a good job. There didn't seem to be as much lulling in terms of lulling
Yeah.
in the chants. They seemed to be getting their stuff together, which was
Hmm.
great. And they started even bringing in different chants. Some of the
Yeah.
chants, like when they subbed on UA, everybody was doing the UA chant,
Yeah. We
UA's
love that.
chant. They did God's Dogs on Fire.
Hmm.
They were doing even some chants. I was like, oh, I haven't heard this chant in ages. So
Yeah.
they were trying some stuff. So for right now, I like that. I mean, I think we should keep working. And I know we were talking on Union Twitter a lot about people started to submit some of their chants they'd like to see. And I think
Hmm.
that's good. I think we do need more chance. And there was discussion about like, hey, even maybe bringing in like QR codes. Like some of these other clubs have apps that they can follow along with the chants. So I think for like
Yeah.
people that don't come in the river end, because let's be honest, unless you go back to like some of the
Hmm.
original ways of like general mission and like Sons of Ben members only, you're going to get people to come in. But I think that's one of the ways potentially you could get them, like have an app. They can open
Yeah.
it up and they can follow along and chant and be the expectation of like,
Hmm.
look, you're here, you're expected to chant. And because that's going to bring up the whole stadium atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, think about the first time we ever went to, and it's like, we learned the chance. We caught on quick enough,
We did, but we also kind of knew what we were getting into.
Exactly.
And
But
we were like, we need to be
yeah.
over there. I kind of wanted to be over there.
Yeah.
So,
But you get like people that come for like a random game, that maybe they got tickets from somebody or, whatever, or they just are like, oh, it's the cheap seats, and um, we want everyone to know what's going on with like the chance and be able to participate.
but I thought as the match going on, we really did a nice job of really kept the energy going.
Yep.
And I also thought, especially when we were going up, we went up, and their fans started going at us. We started going back and
Hmm.
forth, and we really kept the energy up throughout the whole night. So
Yeah.
I thought the River End brought it, and that was awesome again. So it seems to be getting better and better each week. So that's good to see.
Yeah, I agree. I did think there was pretty good energy there. And um during the game, honestly, I forgot about being cold. We
Yeah,
were
and that's a
jumping
good
around and
thing.
chanting and everything. So
Yeah.
um, that was good. I thought that was the most energy I'd seen, in a little while. So
And so that was good. And so what were your thoughts on the first CCL match? This is the first one we saw live. So
honestly, I mean, I thought, like I said, I thought that was, definitely a step forward. I thought we were clicking a lot better.
right.
Yeah.
I did too. I did think the offense was better.
I really liked what I saw from Damian Lowe.
Yes, he played an
Yeah,
excellent
and
game.
Perea, was excellent. We got to see, a bunch of different guys, which was great. Get to see some of that depth.
We did, and I thought they played very well. I think Alianza, they were missing their captain and one of their other starting forwards with injuries. They had some injuries.
I mean, I think we totally outplayed them.
We we did. I think the
They
second half they started getting tired,
yeah, that's
especially
where it really showed.
and they were, they had like 5 subs,
Right.
so
Plus it was cold and that's like,
different weather for
different.
them.
Yeah.
So I think from those aspects, and I know Todd brought that up on the free kick this week too, which is an excellent episode. Making a plug here for the free kick. If you haven't heard his review from this week on both the Alianza game, he does an excellent job on that. So shout out to you, Todd. But I thought it was some things I picked up on. I thought it was different. The music was different,
It was.
They didn't have any music when we really kind of marched out. Like, did they have
Was it like, I mean, there was different music. Was it, does that like theme music for CCL or
well,
something?
that's what I'm
Kind
trying
of
to
like how the
figure out.
World Cup had its like
Yeah,
music. I don't
yeah, they
know.
had that. They had that. There was no
No
national
national
anthem.
anthem, which just felt weird.
Was weird. And then they kind of do that long thing where each team takes a picture. But you see that,
Yeah.
and you probably don't watch as much as I do, but like when you watch like Champions Leagues and some of these other big international tournaments that they have, they kind of do that where like each team does like a little picture of their
Yeah.
match, and that's kind of how tournaments are. But I thought that was just different. I know also they like when we scored the first goal, they didn't put the dupe song up right away, and then I was thinking,
Yeah.
wait, is this like a tournament thing? We don't put the dupe song up, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they put it up, and then they seem to be a little bit behind on some of those cues. But I also know that they're.
Yeah.
I saw some interaction on that. Some people were.
Well, and we can't have the smoke bombs,
Yeah, we couldn't have smoke bombs, so we had flags. But I mean, you really didn't notice as much.
I guess security was tighter because I couldn't take in the small purse that I've taken in every single game.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. That was odd. Like we went in security. I'm like already
I have
through.
like a clear tote bag, and small like clutch purse, but it's like, I mean, you can't fit much in there, but apparently it was too big because like I was going through and then like some like supervisor kind of was around there and she's like, oh no, you got to check that bag, and it's like, and they compare it to like some of this like index card thing. It's like, oh, it's too big. So I had to go back to the car and put that back, and I was annoyed because yeah, at least we didn't have to walk that far. If we'd been parked in like C lot or something,
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, way more mad from just like, come on. But
But overall, just a couple things. I thought the officiating was interesting. Let's just say it was interesting.
yeah.
I mean, you have guys like basically being taken out by the goalkeeper. The ball rolls out after going off of one of their players, and it's ruled a goal kick.
Yeah.
That was interesting. They had, and Jim said this, you had 2 offside goals, I believe, called. Lowe almost had that one where he like basically almost cry kicked that ball and it went wide. But I mean, like there was just the officiating on this game was just questionable to be nice. Which I mean, we could say that was a theme this week, but we're not going to get into it yet.
Not yet.
But what I did like, but again, we started slow, no goals, and then we did get the header in there. That was a beautiful goal by Lowe, and then we're like, okay, but because of CCL, everybody's kind of like, oh, but they come out and score, and then we draw, they advance because we saw that happen with Orlando and Tigres. It's a 1-1 draw, but because of away goals, they advance. Tigres advances on 1-1 draw. So you definitely need to put more goals in the net. And second half comes out, we're doing okay. Perea subs in, has that nice. Oh no, that we had Gaza. Yeah, I forgot that. Which brings up another thing I want to talk about. Do you like that chant? You're not gonna save it. I do like it.
I like it, but at the same time, I'm kind of afraid of jinxing it too.
Yeah, me too. But it's a fun chant.
Yeah.
The whole time we're chanting, I'm like, oh, we're gonna.
Oh, speaking of chants at the goalie, there was definitely some YSA.
Oh, there was.
Like in the game before too. Like we've been hearing that. I mean, to be fair,
to be fair, Orlando does it all the time.
Yeah, they do.
You can hear it loud as day on their broadcast. But nice goal. Gaza gets his goal, and then Pereira comes in. has a nice shot, gets another goal.
Two
Then,
goals within like what, 3 minutes?
yep. And then Ua has that nice cross right to
Mhm.
him, knocks that in. And I felt happy for Mikel. I mean,
Mhm.
I think just this year, just been really pressing to get that first goal.
Yeah.
But after that, after he had that nice cross, I was like, awesome. All right, maybe this good. Because remember last year,
Mhm.
he wasn't really scoring. And he got that assist. And then the next game was the Nashville game where he scored the first goal in Geo's Park. So
Right.
I'm thinking, well, that's a good thing. So overall, it was great. Our depth was good. And I think this is going to be something that's going to carry us in these tournaments throughout the year. And when we have injuries, suspensions, etc., in the midfield, and especially midfield and defense, I think we're going to be fine with the depth.
Yeah.
So the Union will move on now, and they play Atlas in the next round, which starts, I think the first game's the 4th of April. It's that Tuesday night, and then they
Yeah.
play the following Wednesday night, 10 o'clock. Hopefully they're doing something that Tell us will have the game on.
Yeah. Tell
That
us tell us
had
360 in Lancaster.
Yeah, they had the
Yeah.
game. I think I was talking to Ken. He said they had the game on there for the game against Alianza on the first leg.
Ah,
So
it would be nice,
if they have that there,
yeah,
but
out here in Lancaster, we're still trying to get some,
something going.
spots for everybody.
Yeah, but so some fun facts about Atlas is they're from Liga MX. They
Mhm.
were founded in 1916,
Hmm.
and through their club history, they've won 3 league titles and 4 domestic cups. Their rivalry is with Chivas, which is also in Guadalajara. So both
Mhm.
Chivas. I don't know. Do you know Chivas also had an MLS team?
Nice.
Chivas USA,
Oh yeah.
which was in LA. So that yes, Jesse Marsh played for them.
Hmm.
So and their stadium, Estudio Jalisco. Oh, I just totally butchered that.
You
It's
you do
Estudio.
not speak Espanol.
No, Estudio Jalisco.
Jalisco.
Yeah, maybe
I don't know. I took a semester of Spanish in college, so my Espanol is not that great
Billy's
either.
gonna Billy's
Sorry,
gonna go laugh
you're
at me.
gonna laugh at us big
Yes,
time.
Billy's
I
already
speak way
laughing
more
at me.
German,
Yeah,
to be honest.
but it's
So
the third largest stadium in Mexico. And being a travel agent, I was able to snoop around about Guadalajara and some fun facts. It has Latin America's largest indoor market.
nice.
It is known as Mexico's Silicon Valley for its technology.
I did not know that.
Did not know that either. Their traditional dish is drowned bread rolls filled with meat. So there's a picture
Sounds good.
so it's like drowned in like looks like tomato,
Mm,
and all that, and then like a sauce, and then it's like filled with meat, pork, chicken.
sounds good. Well, I love Mexican
And
food, so.
so that I found that interesting. That actually,
Hmm.
and pictures look good. Hosts the world's largest Spanish book fair.
Huh.
Did not know that. You can spend a night in a hotel that is made out of large, because those tequila barrels are huge,
Hmm.
and you can spend it. They take old tequila barrels and they don't just throw you in an old
Yeah.
tequila. They repurpose them, make them nice and livable, and you can spend a night. And they have a lot of great cultural art and rich museums exploring the cultural
Hmm.
history of that region. So
Hmm.
if you are going to the away leg, there are some things for you to consider. And it sounds like, just looking at it, it sounds like a really awesome area of that region. So
Yeah.
definitely want to check that out. But yeah, there's some fun facts. And also within this week, Leagues Cup announced their dates. So, for the group stages, the Union are going to be playing 2 home matches because everything's going to be at Subaru Park for their group,
Hmm.
which is Club Tijuana. And I always get I can't pronounce this one, but they also play Quitanero, I think it is, or it's Quitaro.
I can't trust your
Yeah,
spelling there.
no, it's spelled right. It's just
Oh,
Quitero, I think it is. But
Sarah. Yeah.
yeah, they play Club Tijuana on Saturday, July 22nd, and Quitaro on Wednesday, July 26th. So, fun fact that you might remember this, and for those of you listening, if you listened to the free kick, this was also a blunder of the week, or as I had told him, blunder of the decade. Union play this year, Atlas and Quintero. So if you don't remember, last year there was a match in Liga MX where these two teams, Atlas and Quintero, met
Mm-hmm.
in Quintero, and Atlas won 3-0. But after the match, the ultras and supporters of Quintero started a riot,
Mm-hmm.
and 26 people were injured. Some believe that early on that there were some deaths. You can go on, check out the videos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend it. It's kind of graphic, and
Yeah, it's
basically they
pretty
stripped
crazy.
these Atlas fans naked
Yeah.
and like beat them. And
Yeah.
it's
It's
like,
awful.
it is awful, and it's something that should never happen in any sport or any place, not
No.
even
It's a
sports,
game, people.
any place in society.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that then Liga MX kind of come, everybody's like, this is black eyes. Somebody's got to do something. What does Liga MX do? Oh, well, we're gonna just suspend, fans, and they like kind of, they didn't they addressed it, but without addressing it. Like they basically said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so the ultras are banned from coming to the games, and like it was just like, I forget all. I need to go back and look at it, but I just remember when they finally kind of announced what the sanctions were. It was kind of like, that's a loss. I mean, you could have done so
Mm-hmm.
much more. FIFA maybe should have gotten involved, but they're not going to get involved. FIFA never gets involved with these
Yeah.
kind of things. But it was a very, very ugly situation, and just horrific situation overall. But so fun fact, the Union played both of these teams this year. So I guess moving forward, are you excited about Leagues Cup?
Yay.
You're kind of like everybody else,
Yay.
including me. It's
No,
like,
I'm just like,
it's
okay.
like, it's a cash grab for Don
It
Garber.
is a cash grab.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all
Because
right.
is it fair for Liga MX? Because you now are bringing all your teams up there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not playing any games in Mexico. So
Yeah, that hardly seems fair.
how's that fair for them? All right. I mean, again, what's this trying to do? Are they going to do one next year and say, okay, now it's all going to be down in Mexico? I mean, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, we're going to do a Leagues Cup, and we're not going to have any of the MLS teams play in Mexico.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
They should at least have had like group stages in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Like maybe some of the higher seeded Liga MX teams, they got to host their little brackets with some of
Mm-hmm.
the lower seeded MLS teams. I mean, I think that would have been fair.
Yeah.
At least put something into it. I know there's some CCL berths at large this year. So if you win it, I think like top three teams automatically qualify for CCL next year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm not. We're gonna go. Well, it'll be interesting and fun thing to see some of these Liga MX teams.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not really into it that much. So, should we talk about the Montreal match?
Yes, I mean, we
Well,
must.
let's talk about it, because there is a lot to discuss,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'll just say off the bat, that match hurt last night. Like
it
that was
did.
one of the matches where I'm like, after the end of the game, I'm like, that hurt, because we
It was another
blow.
punch to the gut.
It was it
For
was,
us to lose it that late in the game too, after everything that happened. I mean,
but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's early in the season. We got to move on. But let's talk about. So we did talk about this during lunch today. Do you want to visit Montreal?
well, that's been on my list of places that I would like to visit. It's not that far away.
I would, and I've heard a lot of people say, like, not like where they played yesterday, but their
Mhm.
outdoor stadium is actually a fun atmosphere to visit.
Yeah,
So I kind of wouldn't mind, like, if they played like in a June game, go up there to see a match.
yeah. I've only been to Toronto in Canada, but like I would love to see other parts and Montreal. Definitely.
So I've been there
Sounds fun.
twice. So some really cool places that you guys can visit that if you have not visited yet, would be the Botanical Gardens, which is awesome, Square St. Louis, and the Rue Denis. They are both awesome spots to visit in town. They have lots of great. It's like it's like a mini version of French, very rich in French culture, obviously.
Yes.
McCorden Museum, which explores the heritage of the area. And then Chinatown. Their Chinatown is awesome. Like
Yeah.
that was one place as a kid I was like, oh, when I went there, I was always wanting to go to Chinatown because
Nice.
it's I would say it's better than San Francisco's Chinatown.
Really?
It's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
man, maybe not as good. It's been so long. I love San Francisco's Chinatown. But anyway,
Yeah, that was fun.
um, let's talk about the match. I mean, there you can blame point fingers. I will say this, okay? PK start the match as a fluke
Like
PK.
right at the beginning, that
The fluke
that
PK
sucks.
deflect bounces off Glesnes'
Some really
hand.
bad luck.
That's a PK. Nothing you're gonna do about it. Joe is, yeah, it was good. It was a good PK take. It's 1-0. I thought we looked like we've played a lot of games recently. I mean, you could tell they were a little
Yeah.
tired. We didn't look bad. We were creating opportunities. We just
Yeah.
couldn't finish again. We can't finish in that final third right now.
Yeah. The
And that's kind of been we're snake bitten. Ua was snake bitten early
Mhm.
on because he had like one or two really good chances and he just right to the keeper. I mean, he was
Yeah.
snake bit. You could tell he's trying too hard.
I mean, by the end of the first half, we were starting to really get some momentum going.
We were, but
We've been starting slow. Yeah.
we have been, and again, we're just not finishing our chances. I mean, if we're finishing our chances, we're up. We probably got a goal early on. I know there's been a lot of talk about Carranza's red.
Yeah. So that, I mean, let's face it, that first yellow card, that was soft. That
And this brings up another point with Apple. Like I still have yet to figure out what that call was for because it kept cutting in and out, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden we're like, "What was that call for?" And then was it for like?
Yeah, let's take a moment about that because
Yeah,
while we're on that topic, okay, and I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, and I know you feel this way. I mean, first of all, the picture quality is fantastic.
oh,
Like we
absolutely.
love that about Apple, but they, do replays and cut away and like showing the coaches or focus on whatever, and we miss entire plays,
Or
like
buildups. I
or
mean, like,
buildups to things like can they not do a split screen like say they do on baseball games or they,
right.
or whatever, like um it can't be that hard. Um, so we shouldn't like be missing that action.
No, we should. And again, things like this, like I have still kind of confused about what really happened. I mean, you and I were talking about the split screen. And I looked away, and then he's getting a yellow card.
Yeah,
So
I remember being like, what the hell just happened?
yeah, we both were. So
I'm like, what?
there was that, and then the second one
I
that
mean,
I thought
yeah,
at first, and I'll be honest, I reached out to Todd because he, he's really good with this stuff. I was like, is that like I'm confused. I thought it was a momentum play, but then he's like, no, spikes were up, and then I like saw another version angle of it. And I was like on replay, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, spikes were up, which brings back a funny story. I got a yellow card once, and I told him this where I twisted my ankle, but it was kind of the same play. I made a slide ankle,
yeah,
and I thought my spikes were down, but apparently my spikes were up. And
yeah.
yeah, it's a yellow card. I mean,
But
from that
he's got to be more careful there, though.
I mean, that's it. That is on Carranza for he wasn't careful in that position, and you can tell him pleading, but dude, you make foul. So
Yeah, when you're on a yellow, you can't be doing that.
no. So there was that. But then let's talk about some positives. I mean, Ua started clicking.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it was a big positive. Like, had we that those last couple of minutes didn't go the way they would be, we'd be all just like singing Ua's praises right now. I mean, we are either we're still,
Well,
but it would be the big story.
well, yeah. I mean, I think for me, it was, the first goal was not a great play by the keeper as well, but he put the shot on net.
Yeah,
And hey, it's a goal. It's a one
yeah.
and one. And then his second goal, a little bit better. You could tell after he got that first goal, that second goal was kind of more like him. He started playing a little bit better. So
He's getting that confidence, I
he
think.
he just needs to get going. Now he's gotten going. We got all three of our front all have 2 goals. So that's great.
Yeah.
Gleson's got the 2 PKs. Carranza got the two
Oh, we were
goals.
so close to having a Glasses banger.
I mean, Gazdag, sorry,
Yeah,
not
but
Gazdag has 2 goals.
yeah, but how about
Carranza has 2, yeah.
yeah. We were close to
But
getting that Glesnes banger
that
we've
was a
been
nice
winning.
ball.
Yeah,
That was a nice shot. I mean,
we needed that third goal. I kept saying last time, like, we just need a third goal here because
Jim
the
said
worst
that.
number is having 2 goals.
Right. And so Jim brought that up. I mean, we had some chances there,
We did.
and we just couldn't capitalize. And be it what you want, Montreal there towards the end, once that red card hit, now we're down, man. I see some people saying, do we bring in Donovan or Torres? I mean, that's beyond the point. The point is, we could have probably brought in Harrell.
Yeah.
I would, hindsight be 2020. I would have brought in Harrell over Bizo there. You just gotta
Yeah.
lock it down. And we know I love Bizo, but
Yeah, and he's done great. Just unfortunately,
well, he made two blunders there that led to some goals. So I know we'll talk about the VAR, overturned VAR, that overturned the VAR, that overturned the VAR. What I'm going to say on that is when you look at the replay, there is a foul on Glesnes. That is a non-call, apparently.
Yeah.
Ball goes in, rebound, ball goes in, it's 2-2. I'm sitting there going, is that all sides? And we're all like, okay, it's overturned. I'm like, okay. And then they showed the replay again. And I'm like, Kai's kind of keeping them all sides. It's a ticky-tack call. Well, then they go back and they review it again. And then they overturn the original VAR call.
Yeah. And then we're like, what the crap? Like,
yeah. So that's the thing, which at the end of the day, funny thing I saw, I think it was Matt posted, because we turned it off after Jim was done his part of the presser, was, I guess Victor Wayama said that he told the officials that he had saw during the break when they were reviewing on an iPad. He brought to the officials' attention, which I've never heard of a player going, and then he reviewed it. So I don't know what's going on there, but maybe that was, somebody said it was him plugging Apple, but it was just a funny comment. And I mean, at the end of the day, the call is correct. I mean,
but how do you VAR? That's my question.
So yeah, I don't know either. It just was bad officiating, and then
that was just a roller coaster of emotions that last few minutes.
It was
like we're pissed off. That happened. They get scored on, and then VAR, and then it's like, oh yay, it's overturned, and then it's like, oh no,
and then they had stoppage time, and then they get the third goal, which again, and again, that's on Bizo. He should have played his man tire. He gets through, knocks it in. Does Blake knock that over the net, and does he probably put a hand on that ball there? Goes in.
Quite possibly.
Definitely probably knocks that ball over, and that goes out for a corner.
Yeah.
But it's Joe Bendick. I mean, I'm not ready to go bring in Trent Holden.
Yeah,
Holden Trent. Holden Trent's just coming off of college.
Joe's got the experience at least.
Yes, he's not the most talented. He's just an average MLS keeper.
It's tough when you're comparing to the goalkeeper of the year. Okay.
Right.
No one's going to be as good as Andre Blake is in there right now. And there's going to be the comparisons.
I get that.
What can you do?
He bobbled that one ball early on. It was almost a goal.
Yeah. So. How about that whole sequence? We were lucky for Glesnes and those guys in there back him up.
So I don't know. I think the one thing we shouldn't do is overreact and rush Blake back. It's early in the season.
We need him healthy.
I'm fine with Joe for right now, or if they want to bring in Holden, let's try it out. But I don't know if I'd bring him in yet. He needs some time. Now, if he goes to U2 and he's tearing it up down there, okay, then maybe we can have that discussion. But for right now, both calls were correct. At the end of the day, it was a game. We
should have won that game, but
we dropped points there. I'm sitting there going, okay, because on my predictions, we were up by, I think, 2 points from what I had predicted initially. And I'm thinking, oh man, this will be nice. We got some nice points coming in, and that goal goes in and it gets overturned. I'm like, okay, at least get a point. We're looking good.
Yeah.
And now it's like, that was bad. That was disappointing. But here's the good news. The
Sixers won last night. Yay.
Well, that too.
No.
Although all my teams lost.
But State lost.
All my teams lost.
Flyers lost in like with no time. I think it was like 0.3 seconds.
Yeah,
They tied and then they lost
I just
17.
think some of the officiating
Oh
last
well.
night was a little was spotty at best. Again,
The whole VAR thing.
it just
Yeah.
well. So let's talk about Jim's press conference.
Yes.
Jim called this first thing out of his mouth because you were finally able to listen to one of them.
Yeah.
First thing out of Jim's mouth is, "Yeah, that was a shit show."
Yeah. I mean,
He was mad.
he was mad. He just blurts out that was a shit show. Basically, it's like,
And
yeah,
said, and he's right.
one
Like,
of us, one of us.
I mean, he really
Yeah.
kind of just didn't hold back on his feelings, and he's right. At the end of the day, Kai was on, held the guy on, but like, I mean, for him to just be like, you're any, what was it? It was like you're any player in the world. I mean, fan in the world. You turn on an MLS game, you see this. It's not a good look for league, and he's
Mm-hmm.
right. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have these indecisive things. But you could also tell he was questioning some of the bad calls on the other end, like he said. Kranz's first yellow was very soft, if at all, a card. Second one
Yeah.
was warranted, which was on him for not protecting himself, like you said.
Yeah.
But you said there was some, I think what I was even texting some people was like literally as soon as I think it was Joe Tanzi, I mean not Joe Tanzi, Tannenwald asked the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jim just got up and left. It wasn't
Yeah.
even like thanks guys. He just was like,
Yeah.
any other question? No. And he just got out there. You could tell he just was very upset with
Yeah.
how things were, and he was trying to be as professional as he could.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just bad. So at the end of the day, we can all sit here gloat and glum, but we played at times. Now the last probably after the red card kind of wasn't
Mm-hmm.
the greatest, but hey, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We move on.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Jim said. We got to get ready because it's an international break. But there were some positives. Coming out. I thought at times, as tired as we looked, we had some good things going during that match.
We did.
And granted, Montreal may not the greatest opponent. That wasn't a good loss, but it's time to move on. We gotta get excited for this week because the boys are gonna need it. They're gonna be down. We don't have Kranza. So do we have Chris Donovan in? Do we because Sullivan's gonna be with the U20? So is it Torres up top? But then who's playing the 10? I mean, are we gonna put Perea up at the 10? Probably not. Yeah. I mean, so who's playing the 10? You could have him play the 10 and have Ali over him, because Perea did play some 10 with Orlando, but even then, I'd rather have somebody else. I mean,
we're not gonna have Jose Martinez.
We're not gonna have him.
And by the way, he's been playing really well. I thought he had a good game.
He did. I thought he had a good game. I mean, Bazo again was just inconsistent.
He had a great tweet that he edited then, right after, so he couldn't get fined. But yeah,
I mean, I thought he did. I mean, guys had a great pass to Ua on that one goal. I mean, there were things there that we did good stuff. So I think we take the good, forget about some of the BS, and just move on. It's a loss. It's early in the season, move on. But again, slow start is becoming a very much of a habit with this team, which is very concerning. And, I think that's something to keep an eye out. So poor officiating or not, we should have points. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's keep the energy going because the guys are going to need it, which brings us to this coming week. They play Orlando City. This is going to be a very tough match because Orlando really retooled during the off season. But and they're playing they're playing very well in certain areas. So and they got some nice pieces. But as Jim said, we're going to be missing 8 to 9 players. It is an opportunity for us to show the depth again, and it is at home.
We need the crowd to bring it. If you are going to the game, you need to get loud.
Yes, you do. And so this is going to be a very tricky game. But we won't be there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for us. We had swimmers qualify for the YMCA state meet, so that's exciting. But yes, we will not be able to go to the game, unfortunately. So we'll be watching it though.
Yeah, and so luckily we were able to sell our tickets. Shout out to Jose Nunez for helping us with a buyer, Dylan, who bought the tickets, and he told us that he's taking his dad to his very first Union game. Well,
I hope you guys see a good one, and I hope it's a win.
Yes, and I hope he enjoys himself. We'd love to hear if you want to email us again and tell us how you enjoyed your time in the River End. we hope you guys have a great time. And that's awesome to hear that they
Hmm.
went to a good home. So my biggest thing, we need points in this game.
Yeah.
I don't care how, but 3 points would be beautiful. Just get points.
Hmm.
Because I want us to, at least as we're going through these tournaments, at least keep within striking distance of the top of the league. So that's it. Do you have anything else for today?
No, there, like I said, get loud, and we gotta really, really bring it on Saturday. I mean,
We do.
and we'll look forward to being at the game on April Fool's Day, which hopefully will not be a freezing game.
Yeah. So thank you guys again for
Yeah.
listening. We'll be back probably sometime next week or maybe the week after, depending on how our weeks are. But make sure to interact with us. And if you have any ideas of questions or things you'd like to hear, send them our way. Shoot us a DM on Twitter or Facebook, or message us on Facebook. We'd love, or comment on this episode too. So until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and we'll see you on an all new episode next week of the One Team We Agree On.